Right at 9 o'clock, the snow came, and now you see it circling around me. We got light, fluffy snow. And if you look at the roads are pretty clear. The snow plow. And you see this huge tree behind me has been knocked down. Wind gusts just breaking it, not from the roof. There is a heavy police presence here, and we heard Steve Smith say this is normal protocol just to ensure the safety. But for the people walking by and the people that work at the hospital, it's nothing normal about this scene. On the highway, this person told us the snow smashed right into their windshield. Hey, Rachel, the flames from this fire are still just as high and showing no signs of slowing down. Main campus of the former Doane Stewart School gone. Now, alumni call that the heart of the building, but those that want to save what's left, this right here behind me, they say this is the soul. This laundromat, firefighters have been hosing it down for hours. I spoke to the chief. People get together to raise money. Fast forward 45 years later, and this is what you have, the largest student-led fundraiser in the Capital Region. Good evening, Rachel. This truly is a heartbreaking story. I just spoke to one of Danielle's closest friends, Mary Doyle. Mary was in the water with Danielle on that tragic day, and although she survived, the loss of her friend weighs heavy on her heart.
She brought like so many people together, and just with like her energy and just like her whole vibe. That girl was like really my other half. Danny, I don't really think I'd probably be where I am today if it wasn't for her, really.
Mary tells me her and Danny were inseparable. The day before Danielle's 18th birthday, they went swimming, and that's when they were separated.
Then I got to a point where I was probably about like 10 feet in front of her, and I tried to turn around to see if she was there, and I couldn't even see her. But at that point, I was just like, if I stay here, I'm going to die too.
Mary tells me it got so bad they couldn't touch the bottom of the floor.
I couldn't even have like any energy to like move, so I was literally crawling until I could like feel like I was on shore, and then at that point, that's when I collapsed.
From there, the lifeguard pulled Mary on the stretcher, but she tells me Danny went under and her body wasn't found until the next day around 1 a.m. When Mary's family heard the news, they immediately caught a flight to Florida.
I just couldn't even hold one thought. You know, it was all over the place.
I feel absolutely terrible for Danny and her family, and for my granddaughter to lose her best friend.
There has not been a single day where I have not talked to her on the phone or seen her or even call her. But it's going to be hard. I just try and take it one day at a time.
The family is just asking that everyone pray for them as they get through this difficult time. Reporting in Brunswick, Taniqua Pennix, News Channel 13 with coverage you can trust. Well, I asked several different people and got several different but similar answers. So the best way to explain it is to just show you. Here we go. But don't take my word. Watch the people who've been doing it way longer than me.
Countdown in 5, 4, 3, 2.
It does take a lot of talent to perfect stepping. You know, it's not something that you can just do overnight.
Step is actually really hard. I know it sounds simple, like stomping, clapping, hitting, but there's techniques to it that can't be ignored. We did like arm drills where we would stand and we would put our arm like this, like this, like this, or like this, in order to show like the strength in our arms and make sure that everyone's arms are on the same level.
Everybody wants to be
Your arms, I would say your arms are probably one of the muscles that you're using the most. It's a lot on your feet because you're constantly stomping, constantly lifting your legs, constantly clapping under them, over them. You always have to give like a kind of face, like, yeah, I know I did this, and I bet you wish you could too.
Stepping to me is, I guess, like a routine, but it's also a culmination of history and culture.
It's a full body workout for sure. I find myself sweating a lot.
The historically African-American fraternities and sororities, also known as the Divine Nine, use stepping as a way to show their love and pride for their organization. But stepping's origins are traced back to the African gumboot dance.
the miners used to communicate with each other by slapping and clapping the boots, because when they was working the mines, they wasn't allowed to talk.
Throughout the years, fraternities and sororities have transitioned from stepping to what they call strolling.
Stepping traditionally has no music. We're strolling, you're doing some kind of performing art tradition to any kind of beat or music.
For nearly 2 decades here in Albany, the Palace Theater has hosted its annual step show, and it all started with 2 brothers.
It was an opportunity for us to expose the inner city youth in Albany to the experience of black colleges.
We use kind of like use steps as a way to get kids in one place at the same time. And then as you see, I always go over like Black History Month facts and tips.
Performing at the Palace is also a way to build confidence. Days before, Team Onyx is practicing their routine.
Like, I get nervous fast, but I just take off my glasses and I just dance.
Once you're up there and dancing, it's like, oh, you're fine.
Stepping is like any other sport, and we want it to be open to anybody who has an interest in the sport.
Stepping is a cultural phenomenon that originally started off as something exclusive, but throughout the years is grown into something massive to entertain everyone. Reporting in Albany, Taniqua Pennix, News Channel 13 with coverage you can trust.
I cried myself to sleep when I heard it, and it really broke me because I loved her way too much.
Nieces, aunts, uncles, and cousins all made the 3-hour bus ride from Brooklyn to demand justice and talk about the love they have for Tanisha.
He always cared about her, and she was my favorite cousin in the whole wide world.
Standing at just 4'11", Tanisha's family says to an outsider she could pass for a child.
She's small, she's 31. The people out here thought my sister was 9 years old, 10 years old. They thought she had a fake ID.
Police say on September 14th, Tanisha was crossing Clinton Avenue when a vehicle slammed into her body in the middle of the road near North Swan Street. The driver kept going, and at this time, we know very little about the suspect, but the family says police told them the driver was male and drunk, but no arrest has been made.
How long is it going to be under investigation if you got all these cameras here? What is it going to take? What is it going to take? After my sister's death, it been 5 other hits and runs, or maybe more.
The tragic day forever imprinted in their memories.
I'm the one who cleans up her blood from here.
With Tanisha's mom at the center of the crowd, the family says they won't have any type of closure until the driver is held accountable.
Coming up here is like a hole in my heart. Like a knife is there, you know what I'm saying? No matter what. When I say justice, and I don't want nobody to ever get it confused, because it will never bring my sister back. When that person get caught, they could sit in a jail.
At just 31, Tanisha was already a published author. The family says she loved to read and write and could always be seen with a notebook full of ideas.
She inspired me, and I wanted to be just like her when I grow up.